You just stood on business, big business. You could have just walked away from a situation or made a decision that was very difficult for you to make. What I want to say is welcome to big girl, big boy territory and land of life. As we go through our healing, our growing, integration, learning, and all of these things, it gets to a point where if you truly want to see transformation in your life, you're not going to see that transformation until there's integration. When you're on the journey of healing, growth, spirituality, whatever we want to call it, there's different seasons, there's different times. There's a time where you're going to start to have the intellectual knowledge. This is why you'll see people there that they've heard about this, they've heard about that, affirmations, this, that, all these different things, and they can tell you about it. But then when you look at their life, they might not be able to integrate it. Even the same way that you might have people who talks about relationships or how you got to be this, this, and that. But then when you look at their personal life, they haven't been able to quite figure that out yet. They have the intellectual knowledge, but it takes time to translate. It could be a person who has all the knowledge of certain things about psychology, but when it comes to their own healing integration, it hasn't translated yet. For those of you who this is for, you are past that stage. You've already been past that stage of just knowledge and having information. You are somebody who's not only fully integrated it, you're an embodiment, which same thing. You fully integrated things that you've been learning and experiencing over the years. This is now a part of you. You now know too much to go back. You can't unknow what you know. You can't undo what you do. For those of you who are listening to this, you're a person who's mature. You're mature enough in your growth and your journey to have at least enough awareness of yourself. Knowledge of self is key. When I used to do my personal website back in the day, it's not Pretty Boss TV, but another one. My very first motto ever for Pretty Boss TV is bridging the gap, if anybody has missed that. But what it was for my other brand, for Kendra Justine, is know who you are and succeed. This is the foundation of all things. And that takes a while, because I remember even when I came out with that, and that was my motto, it took a long time. Now we're almost 20 years out from that point, or 10, 15 years out from that point. And it's a completely different level of integration of that. When you reach that level of awareness within yourself to where at least you're clear about you, you know the quote unquote light sides and the quote unquote shadow things, which really are the hidden things. When we talk about the light aspects of ourselves, it's light, but then it's also, we can see it as the things that are visible. And when we talk about the shadows, it's dark, yes, but we're talking about the things that are hidden, the things that are unseen. We're even talking about the subconscious realms of things. That's why when people say your shadow is what's really controlling you, is because your subconscious mind is controlling you. It's those hidden things, your hidden intentions and motives that you may not even be connected with your actions. And again, this is why people who have the intellectual knowledge oftentimes can't break through that, because they don't have the actual tools. This is what 30 Days to Success is about. 30 Days to Success workbook, available on Amazon.com. You get that 2-day shipping if you're in the United States. Okay. It's about taking these things that intellectually people don't understand, but how do you apply it? And so 30 Days to Success is the blueprint to get you going and breaking those barriers. But again, for many of you who this is your message today, you're to an entirely different level. You're not who you were. And some of you could either be or have been in a job or in a relationship or a situation. It could be a city, it could be a state, it could be a country. Whatever this is for you, some of you either are or just got out of a situation where you've outgrown it. You could have outgrown a person. You could have outgrown a location. You could have outgrown an occupation, a purpose, a hobby. Why I say at the beginning what I said, you stood on big business. This is because this was about a major decision in your life that was not easy. And for a lot of you, this had to do with either relocation or job or a person. So let's talk about it from those of you who either just left away from a person or had to turn somebody away. This was a high level counterfeit distraction. What I mean by that is, I don't care who comes across your life. If you interact with people and there's something there, it's because there's always opportunities to learn and grow. But you walked away from something that was hard for you to walk away from. You walked away from a situation that you genuinely had love for. You walked away from a situation that you genuinely had appreciation for. Why did you walk away? Because you know it's not in alignment with you. It doesn't match who you are, who you transformed into. Think about when we talk about the transformation of the caterpillar and the butterfly. Let's say when you're a caterpillar, you're dealing with other caterpillars. I've never seen caterpillars and butterflies hanging out. And you could have had a caterpillar person that is like, man, this is my caterpillar. Like, I love the caterpillar. But you went into your cocoon. You turned into a butterfly. So it's either you're a butterfly and you want to just live on the ground. You want to never use your wings. You never want to spread them. You never want to see the full glory of how you look in butterfly form. You never want to see all the places that you can go and all the things and people that you can reach. To just stay next to the caterpillar and move at the caterpillar's pace and have the caterpillar's life, it doesn't go together. So some of you had to leave or behind the situation because your mind is on the higher purpose. You're focused. You're not sacrificing yourself anymore. A lot of times people who are consider themselves empaths or people who are chosen, a lot of times people go through life and feel like, man, I don't know why things happen. I always get the short end of the stick. And when you go through the work, you start to realize, like, even though there is a target on your back, don't get me wrong, we know we wrestle not against flesh and blood, so this is another conversation. But after you start to integrate and do certain things, you start to see where there were certain pains and struggles that you went through and cycles that you went through with other people in your life. You start to see when you know yourself and you just create basic boundaries, that a lot of those issues that you used to kept falling into, like, I don't know why people always do me dirty, I don't know why I always get the short end of the stick, I don't know why people always take advantage of me, you'll start to see that doesn't happen. Not because they're not people like that, not because people like that don't try to come your way, or not because people who used to try you like that don't try at least one more time. But it doesn't matter what they do. When you know yourself, when you have your boundaries, people could be whoever they want to be. People can do whatever they want to do. For a lot of y'all, you're dealing with a situation like that. This is important because it's extremely difficult, especially if you've been a person your whole life who you did have poor boundaries, who you have compromised yourself for the sake of others. You are the type of person who's given your last off your back when you really actually did need that. For real. When you're used to doing that and you finally in a point in your life where you're in a situation where it's something that maybe you really enjoyed it, maybe there was something about it, maybe there was just a genuine love. Like I said, for some of you, if this is not a person, it could be a job or a group of people that you are around, or maybe it was something that you used to love to do, something that you've dedicated time to. And when you're a person your whole life who you've had poor boundaries and you made a lot of decisions based on others' feelings before yourself, and you finally get to a point where you've healed, you've integrated, you transformed in major ways from who you used to be, and you're able to put your foot down to something that in the past you would have chose them over yourself, that is huge. You chose you. That is major. If I just described you, you got to understand you're on an entirely different level. And if you're listening to this video and you feel like there are certain things in your life that has been stuck, you transformed, you changed, you broken through, but nothing's changing, check out this video that I have, because let me tell you, if this particular video resonates with you, you're way beyond where you may be perceiving yourself to be. It's just a matter of time before things swiftly shift. When you're transforming, when you're in that period, this is another time where meditation is key. Meditation is just all about silencing your mind. It's about allowing things to settle and integrate. Think about when you have a cell phone update. It starts updating, then what does it do? It shuts down. Then it reboots. This is kind of like what meditation allows us to do. And especially when you're going through sensitive periods of major transformation and growth, this is what you want to implement. You chose you. Continue to do that first and foremost and always, especially as a chosen when you have a particular purpose, and nothing or anything should come before that. Esther Awakening is coming up September 1st through the 8th. Shout out to everybody who has signed up for the Esther Awakening. I'm extremely excited about this. This is an event for those who are right at the tail end of that transformation. You know what I'm talking about when you keep hearing about breakthrough, when you've been doing the work and it's like you're right there, you know that you're right there, but you're not quite. And then others of you, you've transformed. It's happened. But then it's that new space. It's like, okay, I'm not a caterpillar anymore. I'm a butterfly, but I haven't been taught how to fly. I don't know how to move like a butterfly. All I know is I'm not a caterpillar, but what next? This is what the Esther Awakening is about. This is what the 7-day consecration is about. It's about getting in that alignment with your new self. Remember, scripture tells us, behold, all things old become new. Galatians 6:9 says, do not grow weary in doing good, for in due season you will reap if you faint not. This is for those of you who've done that. This is reaping season, but in order to reap, we got to consecrate ourselves. We got to be in alignment with the thing. We got to be unmovable on the path and the purpose that the Most High put us on, regardless of what may look like it needs to be collateral damage. Why is it called the Esther Awakening? Think about what Esther represents. She was consecrated along with a whole bunch of other women for the king to choose who his wife would be. He chose Esther. Was it because her oil smelled better? Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. But the fact of the matter is, God made sure that the king chose Esther, because God knew in advance he didn't just send Esther there so that she can just be his pretty wife. He sent her there with a purpose. for the people, to prevent a group of people from being exterminated. So then she was in a precarious situation where she's like, wow, now I have to potentially put my life at danger with this king to do what the Most High is telling me to do. And the Most High is like, absolutely. Because if y'all read that, y'all know what also comes with it. If you don't do what I raised you up to do, no worries. I'll raise somebody else to do the very thing that I sent you to do. But we all know everything comes with consequences, right? This is the same thing that you're being called to. If you chose yourself, don't go back. Don't let anybody guilt trip you into anything. I'm going to do a part 2 on that, as a matter of fact, right after this, because now that whole message is coming to me. Okay. All of my links are below for anybody who's interested in the Esther Awakening. We also have Esther kits. If you want to get tickets to the Esther Awakening, you can also just get the Esther kit and you get a free ticket included, okay? Because the kits are going to be something on their own. Those are things that I hand make, I consecrate, I pray over. Those are my handmade spiritual tools the Most High has showed me to do in the season. Would like an Esther kit only for this first time that I'm releasing is going to give you access not only to the kit, but to this actual event. And if you want to get the kit in time for the event, then you must place those orders on or before August 20th. Anybody who places an order afterwards, you're going to get it. You're just going to get it in September, after the actual September 1st to the 8th, just so that you all know. But these are consecration tools. And also, I'm going to have it soon too. I'm going to release the full site where you can get other things that I have available as well, and products that the Most High has been leading me to make for the kingdom. I love you all so much. Let me know how this resonates with you, and let me know if you're the one that you chose yourself. That's huge. Continue to move forward. Love y'all. Talk to y'all soon, y'all willing. Peace.